So we have a field with a data type, field size, not null, primary key, another field. And what data type should I use for variable character length?
Varchar.
Any comma after the second field?
Well, do you have another field to make?
No.
Then no.
Then no. Very good. Okay, cool. So we will select this and we will run this, and it ran successfully and the table was created.
So you chose not to name the constraint and put it at the bottom of the SQL statement, like the book says.
Right. So when you do this, the system still writes a constraint name. So no constraints are created without a name. So primary key constraints can either be given name by you or by system.
Normally, what would you prefer, this method or the other one, which is more, provides more documentation?
It all depends on the documentation, and usually you want to have named entities, which you control.
Okay, okay, I got it, I understand.
Okay. Once you create this table, let me give you some comments. And let's see if you can create a table on these comments yourself. Or let's do this. Don't create the table yet. Let me add some more comments. Everybody got this working?
Yep.
I think there's somebody, Jose, I think he got. I think Jose got disconnected or something. So something like this. Hold on a second. Oops. Customer. I add an S there. Customer. Okay, there we go.
So I probably missed it last time, but what does setting the foreign key as a constraint do over versus just setting it as a foreign key?
Say that again.
Oh, what does setting the foreign key up as a constraint do versus just writing it as the foreign key is this and it references the other table?
Well, this allows you to have a named constraint. So you control the naming.
Okay.
Jose, did you also get this working? I know you were disconnected for some time.
Yes, I was disconnected. Disconnected. Yes, I got it.
Okay, okay. Is it possible for a table to have relationship with multiple tables, like multiple tables having foreign key to that table?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Assigning a no-null to a primary key as well as a foreign key is a good like programming standard, right?
Yes, because you do not want foreign key to have any null values, otherwise it won't be able to be connected with the primary key. Okay, I'll give you another specs to work on. And this will also connect back to customer 2022.
Can I ask you another question while this is going on?
Yeah, sure.
So if during a program execution, one of the constraints are violated, the program is going to blow up, right?
Right. Yes. Yes.
So it's up to the programmer to control or monitor for those type of errors within the program.
Right. So you would have to, yep. So usually programming languages allow you to return a result set, and then you can check the result set for error handling. So if you're using Java, you'll use a try catch block. Same goes for C#. Similarly, in RPG, you will have some kind of error checking routine to be able to see, if anything fails, you will catch and capture and work with that. Yep.
Okay, excuse me, while we're waiting, I have another question. In the assignment, it says to declare or define the sum of the columns with integer 10, but the 10 is not necessary, right?
No, no, no. The entity relationship diagram is not based on DB2.
Okay, yes, it's for all platforms.
Mhm. So then the developer will make a decision based on whatever works for their platform. Okay, so you guys get that working? Okay, so let's move on to another one where I want to introduce another data type besides character. So we'll create a table called app_users_2022. App ID, character 9, not null, primary key. Which one of the tables that we have created today can this be connected to in a primary key foreign key relationship?
Say again.
Which of the tables that we created today can this be connected to in a primary key foreign key relationship?
Extended user info.
Mhm. So foreign key. User ID. References. Extended user info.
Can I look at your extended user info table?
Sure.
Oh, never mind. I was thinking of the clients table. That would explain it. That's why I was so confused. Okay, good.
Okay, everybody got this working?
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of the fields that I just created with you guys, its name is longer than 10 letters, right? Which field is that?
That was the last activity one.
Right. So now we will tap into the system tables to see what the short and the long names are. So some of this command you will do exactly the way I'm doing it. And the rest of the command you have to customize based on your user ID. Okay. So we got to select the field system underscore column name, which is the column name defined by the IBM iOS. And then the column name is the long column name that you gave from the QSys2, which is the name of the schema, dot sys columns. That's the name of the table in which all the tables and their column information is stored, where the table underscore name equals to, now this is case sensitive because behind the scene, all the table names and all the column names are stored in all uppercase. So you got to make sure that you write everything in all uppercase in the single quotes. And table underscore schema. Now, this is where you will write the name of your schema. I'm writing the name of my schema, and your schema is ITPA and whatever your profile is. So now when you run this code, it'll tell you the system column name is this, last underscore 00001, and the column name that you gave is this, because that's longer than 10.
So when you do a select on interactive SQL, you use either the short and the long name, correct? Either one.
Well, short names are usually needed by RPG.
Right. Okay.
Because cannot work with long names. Java and other high-level languages can work with long names.
But in the select statement, you can use either name, right? The short or
In the select statement, yeah, because they're both stored behind the scene. Yes, yes.
but the RPG might be used as short.
Exactly. RPG will not work with the long names, period. So you have to have short column names.
Mm.
Okay. Similarly, if you want to see the list of all the tables that are stored in your schema, you can type the command select table underscore name from, again, the same schema qsys2, but this time choosing a table called tables, where DB name, that means the name of the database, and this is where you will write your schema name or your database name. So it will give you the list of all the tables that you have.
Assume all the ones that start with sys are the system ones.
Yeah, those are system. Yep.
Okay.
So you find all this information that the system, that the book doesn't mention.
Yeah, the book doesn't have this.
The IBM manual. Is that where you find it?
Yeah, you can find it on the DB2 help IBM provides. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so now let's go to the insert commands. One of the simplest form of an insert command is that insert into and your table name, which is, let's say, customer 2022. That's the very first table we created today, customer 2022, and has only two fields, customer 22. You start putting after this the word values, and then you start listing the values. What goes inside the parentheses, if it is a date or a character, will go in single quotes. And if it's non-character, will go without quotes or date. So since we have both fields as character fields for this table, therefore both values will go in single quotes. And that inserts one record successfully. That is one way of doing it, inserting. For some of you already saw this in advanced Java, where we wrote insert commands, or in system design, in the IBM iOS class, where we did some of that. Okay. Now let's look at second way of inserting. Insert into customer 2022 values. However, this time, what you do is between the values and the actual values, you will list the fields. This approach is traditionally used if the fields are in a different sequence, or you want your SQL to include the field names. So for example, I could either write it like this, customer ID, farm name. I can write it in the same sequence, and I can provide the values in the same sequence as the fields. Or if I want a different sequence, I could do that too. Once you're done with this, I will let you insert record in extended user info yourself, insert two records. One, okay, using each one of the two approaches. So you will insert one record using the first approach and one record using the second approach. Everybody got this?
Mhm.
Okay, let's see. Can you guys give me a check so I know everybody got it? Okay. Now let's insert a record in the app users 22 table because it has a date field. Insert into values. The fourth parameter is a date field. So dates are always inserted in the ISO format, which is year first, followed by month, followed by date. Oh, the foreign key stuff in the primary. I should have used one of the foreign keys. The user ID, it's a foreign key, right? Yeah. So here you get a chance to see that referential integrity constraint was violated because I tried to use a user ID that doesn't exist in the primary key. So I'll use one of the user IDs, 1113. One second. Okay. User ID, username. Why is it erroring out? Referential constraint. That is the value 1113. You guys getting the same error too?
No. It has to be one of the customer IDs, though. Not the or
Oh,
no, user
it
ID,
is-
not the customer ID.
okay. Yes, I made a mistake there. Yeah. I should have inserted that. Yeah, because I'm missing the extended one. Okay, makes sense. Let me insert some records there, or at least one record. And then let me use that. Oh. Okay. Here we go. Yep, that works fine. So we have the following data there and the following data there. Okay. Yeah, I forgot to insert the data in extended user. I gave you guys the task to do that, didn't do it myself. So that's what I was having the issue of violation. Okay. Now let me copy line 47 and paste it again with a different ID for the app. And the app is developed by the same user, but different ID. And instead of using the hard-coded date, I want to use the current date. So I can actually type current underscore date to do that. And you can see the difference when I ran the select star to see the data in the tables.
If you can find the date column in the table in a different format than ISO, the system will convert it to that format, let's say month, day, year.
It totally depends on your DB database administrator. Mostly database administrators leave it in the ISO format. So if you are running into a data set that's in a different format, you would have to convert it. It won't directly understand it. So you may have to convert it on the fly.
You have to do it in the insert stage.
You have to do it. No, you have to, if you are selecting it, you would have to use one of those date functions.
Display it in the format that you want.
Yeah. Or if you're doing at the programming level like Java or C#, then you would have to deal with it accordingly based on the language support. Okay, so far we looked at all the constraints, but a check constraint. A check constraint is a constraint that puts a check on a field and doesn't allow you to enter certain values that do not follow the rules. So if after creating a check constraint on a field, if anybody tried to insert a value that doesn't follow the check constraint, it will error out. For example, if I have listed that the following field can only have one of the following codes in it. So the check constraint will be enforced anytime you try to insert a value in that field against those codes. If you're inserting a value that is not any of the codes, then it will right away reject the input. One of the problems is that sometimes people make a mistake of giving their default value, which is not part of the constraint. So as a result, if somebody, if the field can be left not null, and if somebody tries to leave it null, it goes to the default. And since default is not part of the constraint provided list, it just kicks back and says, yep, can't insert. So that's why, you have to make sure that if you're using such check constraints and you're also using a default value, then the default value must match at least one of the provided values. Okay. So we'll create a very long table here. And the reason I want to create one, because I want to talk about different ways you can create a check constraint. Okay. So we will create a table called AMPS 2022. And make sure you have the opening and closing parentheses and everything. Okay. Probably it'd be like 10, 15 lines of stuff here. So let's first list all the fields we want. And we also didn't do the unique constraint, right? So I will use this example to do that as well. So that's why I'm declaring Social Security. I will promote Social Security to the unique constraint. Wow, it's lagging. I don't know if it's typing or, oh, there it is. Okay, these are my fields. Let me know when you guys are done adding these fields. Then line by line, I will introduce one constraint so that it's easier for everybody to follow. Let me clear all the checks because, I know you guys have given me thumbs up, but that disappeared. So if you can give me a check again, please. So whenever you are done, Jose, you can also give me a check. Oh, okay, cool. Now we'll start with our very first constraint, which is a unique key constraint. So we will type the word constraint, followed by the name of the constraint, followed by the type of the constraint, and the field on which I want the constraint. So as you can see over here, the word unique applies a constraint on a field which could be left null, it could be left blank, However, if you provide a value, the value cannot be duplicated. So that's a unique constraint, and it cannot be used to establish relationship between the two tables. You can't use unique constraint for that purpose.
So you cannot use a unique field, the field with a unique constraint to establish a foreign key.
Yes, you cannot. Yes.
You know, the book says that you can. On page 124, that was strange when I read that. Page 124. On the second paragraph.
Of which page you said?
124, chapter 5.
Okay, let me grab the book. Okay, where did I put the book?
Yeah, the second paragraph. Read that. Maybe I didn't get it. Maybe I really didn't understand it. Second paragraph, 122.
Which topic is it under? Because my pages are different in the electronic book I have.
I will read what it says. I hope you can hear me. It says, a foreign key constraint is specified in the dependent table. The constraint specifies a foreign key columns in the same table as the constraint and specifies the columns of the primary key or unique constraint in the parent key. Sorry about the phone. Anyway, I can send you the
No, I'm trying to look for it. Hold on a second. I have never seen it done, so I never did it, because that kills the purpose of having a unique key constraint if it could be used as a primary key. That's why I may have to look further into it if Db2 lets you do stuff.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. I was reading and I wrote it down with the intention of asking you today.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't really make sense, but foreign key column the same table. I found the paragraph that you're talking about. A foreign key constraint is specified in the dependent table. The constraint specifies the foreign key column in the same table as the constraint, and the columns of a primary key or unique key constraint in the parent.
Yes.
Oh, it's the constraint specifies the foreign key columns in the same table as the constraints, as the constraint and the columns of a. So it doesn't talk about establishing a relationship between foreign key and unique. The corresponding primary and foreign key column must have identical. So only the primary and foreign key needs to have identical values. The constraint specifies the foreign key column in the same table as the constraint in the columns of a primary or unique constraint. I don't think he's saying that you have a relationship between primary and unique. Foreign and unique.
Okay.
Because I have never seen that. Okay. So
It's okay. It's okay. Thank you.
no problem. So we will, this is one constraint. The other constraint we want to add is on status. Constraint, we're gonna give it a name. Status check constraint number 1. Check constraints are added with the word check, followed by whatever you want to add in your constraint description. So for example, here I want to say that status can only be A for active and I for inactive. So here we are forcing the user that when the user does a data entry, can only provide one of the two values. Now let's add another constraint. So it'll be on a social security number. This will also be a check constraint to force the social security to be a value greater than 0 and social security to have a value nine nines. So you can create a check on handpicked values. You can create a check on range of values. Okay, our next constraint, I want to add on the date field. And this will be a check constraint such that I want to make sure that the people that we are hiring, their hire date must be after they're born. So just to show you that you can actually reference two fields of the same table in the check constraint as well. And also to show you that date fields can also use comparison operators. Then we will write our next constraint on the job class field, where we want the job class field to only hold one of the following values. So you are not limited to 2, you can put as many values as you want in the in operator. Means it will make sure that the value is one of the many choices. Similarly, you can also give a range. Constraint job level check constraint check. You can say job level to be greater than 0 and job level to be less than equals to 9. So you can use these operators with character values as well. Putting gender in. And then we will also use number fields. We haven't used any number fields. So let's add a number field constraint on salary. So nobody can be paid $0 and nobody can be paid more than 300,000, at least in this check constraint. And when you name the constraints by name, you can always change them later on through an alter command. So that's another benefit of having named constraints, so that you can later on alter them if you want. Okay, also we want to make sure, let's add another constraint on salary. So we'll have multiple constraints on salary. Also, we're going to make sure that salary is always greater than commission. So again, comparing two fields. And also we are making sure that bonus is greater than 0 or commission is greater than 0. So there are several different types of constraints that we have added here in this one table. Let me run this table to make sure that it works just fine. I'm going to show you that code again. This has one error somewhere. Oh, I already. Oh, I have okay. I might already have these constraint names already created in the past. So that's why I was complaining about that. But anyway, got it fixed. Is everybody done with this?
Yep. Oh, I forgot to. There.
Can you guys try inserting one record?
Okay.
Okay, everybody got it?
Yep.
Okay, Jose, Cameron, Thomas. Okay. Now let's create a table on which we will use the alter commands. Alter command is used to modify an existing table. So let's create a table, create table called lamp 2022. A very simple table with maybe a couple fields. So we have lamp ID, character, size 4, not null, primary key, lamp manufacturer, just a simple table. So we will alter by adding a field, and then we will also learn to alter by modifying an existing field. And then we will check to see if the field is added and modified. Okay, so we'll have 3 steps, but let me wait till everybody is done with this one. Simple one, should be easier to write those 3 lines. Then let's go to the alter command. Alter table, table name. Add column, the column name, followed by the details of the column, such as the data type. And it should come back saying the field was added, no problem. Now I will also, showing you that how you can alter a table by adding a column. This is a new column that I'm adding called lamp underscore model. This is the data type, the field size, and I'm giving it a default value that by default, this is the value. Now let's alter by modifying an existing field. So again, alter table lamp 2022, alter column lamp ID, which is my primary key, set the data type to character. What is the current size? 4. Okay, let me change it to size 6. Also, if you want to alter a table, alter its column, and change the default. So my previous default was classic. I want to change it to contemporary. So alter table, table name, alter column, column name, set the default to a different default.
Well, can you show a lamp model again?
The table?
Yeah, right there. No, lamp model, not the table. my bad.
Lamp model. Okay, here,
Yeah.
lines 87, 88.
Ah, that's what it was. Okay, thank you.
And here we saw that we changed the data type of an existing field. And here we saw that we changed the default value of an existing field.
Question.
Mhm.
In other programming languages such as Java and C#, after you alter the table, you also have to go back and recompile those programs?
No. No. Because the table is not part of the oh, if you're adding more fields, is that what you're saying? Or if
Yes.
you're
Yeah, adding more fields or altering the table in any way.
typically,
Uh-huh.
if you are reading only those fields that already exist, then you wouldn't have to do anything because you have added more fields, but you're still reading the fields that already exist. If you want to make modification to the code that you want to include the newly added fields as well in your program, then of course you would recompile.
All right.
So if you have only made changes like the ones that we might have made, is where, for example, if you change the data type, size, or the default values, that doesn't automatically affect your code. So if you run it the next time, it will automatically be able to talk to the updated version of the table. Now let's check the fields in the table. So we will select from, oops, oh yeah, okay, this is the warning. I'm also seeing the network connection to the V2 cloud appears unstable. Anybody else seeing this warning? So what I'm typing, it's not showing. Oh, okay, it's reconnect.
Hello? Are you back now?
Oh, was I disconnected?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were disappearing into the shadow realm.
Ah, okay. You know, I think it was the connection was unstable and I was disconnected from everything for a short while. Okay. Okay. So now we will see if field is added and modified. After that, we'll be looking at the actual table, which is QSys2. It's a table in QSys2 schema. The table is sys columns, which we already looked at before, where the table name is LAMP 2022. And you will write your schema. I'm writing my schema. And you can get to see the column names. and you can see their data types. You can see their order, ordinal position, in what sequence they are. You can see their length. You can see that lamp ID was modified to 6 from 4. You can see if anybody has any numeric scale, which fields are nullable. And if you keep scrolling to the right, you can see the storage, the numeric precision, the table schema, any default values, maximum length, and the system names, which are shorter names, like for example, for the second field, which is lamp manufacturer. And oh, if the table name is longer than 30, then the system table name will be different than the actual table name. And none of them are identity columns, and yep, that's about it, right?
You mentioned about identity column.
Yeah, we haven't talked about identities yet, but identities are auto-numbered columns. Okay, guys, let's take a break here until 10:20, and then we'll resume at 10:20.
Okay.
Now let's start to look at the update command with the table lamp 2022. Sorry, let me first insert some data in here, right? I did not insert anything. So let me first.
You're not sharing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, let me share. Thank you. Okay. Sharing now, right?
Yep.
Okay. Insert into lamp 2022 values. We need to put for values lamp ID, lamp manufacturer, lamp price, and lamp model.
Expensive lamp.
So these are the 4 records that I inserted. Okay, is everybody with me so far?
Yeah.
Okay. Our next task would be to create another table. And in this table, let me do this. I will transfer all the data from one table to another. Let's try to do that in our next task. So let me do this. Let me create a table exactly similar to the table that I just created. And then we can do that. Okay, so let me go back up here and rerun this so that I have the table description in front of me while I create my next table. Create table lamp 2022 B, second version. And we'll have lamp ID. Lamp ID, character size 6, not null, primary key, lamp manufacturer, varchar 30, lamp price, decimal 6,2, and lamp model varchar 30. Right? Now, copy all data from lamp 2022 to lamp 2022 underscore B. So insert into lamp 2022 underscore B. And we have lamp ID, comma, lamp manufacturer, comma, lamp price, comma, lamp model, select the exact same fields. Oops. Exact same fields, copy this and paste it from lamp 2022. So let's run that. And then we will check to make sure that the data has transferred. So this is how you can copy all the data from one table to another by using the select command in place of values and then listing the values.
Does work.
Okay, everybody got this?
Mhm.
Okay. Let's copy the create table command and paste that. And we'll call this one C. And we will add one more field, which is called the discount rate of decimal 4,2. The reason I added one additional field to show you that if you try to do something like this by copying all the data from LAMP into LAMP C, you have one extra field in LAMP C, which you don't really have in the LAMP. So make sure you guys change the table name to _C on line 128. And let's add this discount rate field. So what you will do is when you're saying select LAMP ID, LAMP manufacturer, LAMP price, LAMP model, all these fields are in LAMP 2022. So what you will do is for any additional fields, you will hard code with some kind of a value like this. So all the values in that last column will be 0.06. So that's how you can copy all the values, and you can insert a hard-coded value for any field that doesn't exist in the source.
In this case, though, because discount doesn't have not null next to it, would it just fill it in with null if we transferred them over right now without hard coding the value?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
If you don't include the constant 0.06 and that field discount rate has a default value, will it work?
The default value will kick in.
Will kick. Okay.
So now I want to update the discount rate to 15% for all lamps in LAMP 22C. So update LAMP 22_C, set the discount rate equals to 15% will be what? 0.15.
0.15.
And that's it. Oops, I misspelled lamp. Lamp. There we go. And then we can select star and make sure that all of them are now 15%. Okay. Next, we want to update the discount rate to 20% for all lamps by lamps 21. Only one manufacturer. So we can use something similar, but we will change the rate to 20%, and then we will use a where clause, where lamp underscore manufacturer equals to lamps 21. And it's case sensitive because it's a character value. And that will only affect 2 rows because there are only 2 places where we have lamps 21. So you can see here that the lamps 21 records are now 20% discount rate. Okay, what should I type to make this happen? In the same table, lamp 2022 underscore C.
Would you just set discount or lamp prices? Set lamp price equals lamp price times 1.1.
Okay. And that will increase all the lamp prices by 10%. As you can see, 400 became 440. Okay, now do this one. Line 142 comment. So we will modify line 143. What do you think we should type here? What changes should we make?
Just add the where clause for lamps, are you?
We are decreasing, not
Sorry.
increasing.
I think you'd set it to 0.9, right?
Yep. So that's a 10% decrease where and you can see that lamps are used price being decreased. Okay. Let's do another task here. Copy, paste. Okay. What change will I make to this query?
Can just put in an AND statement, right?
Okay, and
Or would it be an or?
very good, because why it can't be and?
It couldn't be the same thing twice.
Exactly. Got it, Thomas? Even though we said and in words, it will not be and in SQL because the same record cannot be both.
Oh, yeah, duh.
Santa B. Okay. So now we will run it again to see that it further went down from 148 to 134, and Santa B also went down. Okay. We will check an alternate approach to what we just wrote here, which will be a shorter approach. I don't know why all of a sudden Control-C, Control-V stopped working in this. So I gotta manually do it. And that is by using an in operator. We can list values like we used in the check constraint, if you remember. So that's how you can also do an or between the values. That means if the value is the first one or the second one, it will work the same way. Let me run it again to make sure that the values are decreasing, and they did decrease to a lower value. Okay. Is everybody following so far so good? Okay. Now, we will decrease lamp prices by 10% for all lamps priced over 300. So this part will be the same between the two. Okay. So up till where it will be exactly the same. What will I write after where?
Lamp price greater than 300.
Lamp price greater than 300. Very good. And that affected 2 rows only. And we can run to make sure that that worked fine. So lamps 21, 2 records, 101 and 103. we see the drop in their pricing. Okay, another one. Increase all, not increase, increase all lamp prices by 10% if the price is between 50 and 200. Now there are two ways to do it. So we're going to look at both approaches. So we are increasing by 10%. So therefore we will take the same approach as 1.1, where lamp price is greater than equals to 50 and lamp price is less than equals to 200. That's approach number 1. And I want you to run that select star from lamp 2022 underscore C to make sure that the values have changed. So when you do that, where'd that go? There it is. Okay. You will see that after that, that Santa B, which was 190, has now jumped into a 200 range. But lamps RU is still in between 50 and 200 range. Okay. Now let's take a look at the alternate approach. In the alternate approach, you will only see one of them increase because the other one will not fall within the range. So we'll copy and paste. Update lamp C, set lamp price to increase in 10%, where lamp price between 50 and 200. So that's the alternate approach, where you do not need to repeat the field name twice and see that only one row was affected because only one lamp fell within the range. With me so far, everybody?
Mhm.
How about, can you write an update to do this?
That worked.
And once you are done with line 160 comment, see if you can do line 162 comment into a query. Okay, give me a check when you're done with this. Okay. Next, what I would like you to do is within the V2 Cloud environment, open Blackboard, because we have a file, an SQL file to download, and then we need to run that script, and that will create an entire database for you that we will be using for the most part in the rest of the course. So I'm just testing something, so you don't need to do this one right now. I don't remember if I have. Yeah, I do have the database. Okay, cool. Okay. So let me know when you guys are in the Blackboard on the V2 Cloud. Give me a green check, and then I'll tell you what we will be doing next.
It tried to open the Java programming course because I haven't opened this in however many months. So when you are there in V2 Cloud in the Blackboard, you go under course documents. There's a link under course related called course documents. That's where you'll find a lot of folders. Oh, Oscar, you're still in the process, right? Okay, got it. Okay, so you click on the folder that reads SQL scripts and ERD. So this is the database. You see over here, the database. This is the database whose script I'm giving you that you will run, and it will create the entire database with all these tables. And this is an extremely important diagram because moving forward, when we will solve some problems, you need to come here and see, okay, who is related to who and what are the related fields and what are the primary keys and what are the foreign keys. So if I want to select something between 3 tables, you can see how you can establish relationship between those 3 tables and so on and so forth. So that's why I gave you the entity relationship diagram. Where is the script located? The script is located here in the very first thing. It's called bookscript.sql. You click to download. You know, I should also do that. Even though I have the database, just to show you guys the next set of steps. So I went under course documents, under SQL scripts and ERD, and I clicked on this bookscript.sql. It was downloaded. Once it's downloaded, I can go back to this window. Everybody here? On the run and the ACS, and click on run SQL scripts again. It will open a brand new run SQL script for you when you double click on it again. Okay. Now you click File, Open, PC file.
And then you can browse that. I think it will be in the downloads folder. Here it is. The book script, open. And it brings the entire book script for you.
Is there going to be a problem with all of them being your schema?
Yeah, we will change that. Don't worry.
Okay.
So once you have the script open, you will click edit, find and replace. And then in the find, you will type my schema, and in the replace, you'll type your schema and hit replace all. So that will replace all occurrences of Yusuf S with whatever schema you have. Done? I hope those people who are not here today, I will make the recording available. You can watch the recording and do this so that when they're here next week, they're ready with the script. Can you guys give me another check when you're done replacing all occurrences?
I saved it to an external drive. So when I go to IBMI Access, Client Access, I don't see my external drive. I only see the C drive. You see what I'm saying? Like, when I run SQL and then click on File and open from PC.
Oh, no, because when you say open from PC, it will be the V2 Cloud PC.
V2 Cloud. Oh, okay.
That's why I asked you download it to within the V2 Cloud.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks.
I can't remember. Did you say to run the SQL or just rename it?
No. Don't do anything.
Okay.
Just
All right.
just replace, and
Yeah.
then we'll see what we can do. So Jose, let me know whenever you're ready.
Yeah, yes. So when I open RDI or even
Don't need to open RDI. It is the run SQL script.
yeah, no, I just have a general question.
Oh, okay.
Within the V2 Cloud, I'm not looking at my C drive. I'm looking at the C drive of the V2 cloud, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Okay. So now once you are done replacing all of those schemas, now one by one, run each one of these drop table commands, because in case if you already have any table with that exact name, it will be deleted. If it comes back erroring that you do not have a table by that name, well and good. But try them one by one, all 8 of these tables. If it errors out that you don't have a table, then go to the next one. If you have one, it will delete it. Once you're done with that, place your insertion point on line number 9, and then you can press Control Shift End. Control Shift End, END, end. That will select all of the SQL statements from line number 9 all the way till the end of the script. To Control plus Shift plus End, END, end key. Now, once you do that, then you hit the hourglass symbol to run all of them. It may take a few seconds. I hope there are no hiccups. Okay. So I'll clear the feedback so that as you get done, give me a check. Cameron, you still working on it? That's why you didn't give the check yet? Okay, you got it. Okay, awesome. Okay, so I'm done with the script. I do not need the script anymore. I'm closing this script and I'm going back to my previous script that we were working with. Remember the lamps one? Because you can have multiple run SQL script windows open at the same time. We will do a quick check here. So what I want to do is I want you to one by one select each of the tables and do a select all on them. So we're going to start out with, okay. I want you to run it. Once you run it, just see the data. So let me give you all the selects. Let me decrease the font size just a little bit, maybe to like 28. That way you can see all the tables, you know. So run each one of them one by one and see the data. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I'm back. Any questions? Are you guys still going over
I don't
the
really
data
have
set?
any questions.
Okay, let's say I now want to concentrate on the books table, and I'm interested in selecting all book titles. Okay. So what should I type here? I'm interested in selecting all the titles.
I think you would, where's books? I think you just select title from books.
Very good. Now, usually the queries are asked in English and you have to convert them to an equivalent SQL query level. So the next comment, as you can see over here, is I'm asking you to select all the book titles. So instead of using the word selecting, I'm using the word view. So view all book titles along with their publication date. So what will I type here?
Just add in pub date to your previous select statement on 180.
And that'll do it. Okay. Another way to phrase with the different field combinations.
Say again? I don't think I quite understood.
Do a select all on books.
Yeah.
Do we have a category field?
Yep. So we can just do select
Yeah,
title category.
exactly. Exactly. dates and display book title for each publication date. So now here, the importance is given to publication date, not to the book title. So we would want to select the publication date first and then the book title, just to show you that you do not need to select the fields in the same sequence as that they are in the actual table. You can move the sequence around and that'll be perfectly okay. Now I will be using the orders YS table in my next comment. Select, or I should say, let's say the client is interested in list all states where you have shipped in the past. Okay, let's say I wrote in as much English as possible and tried to stay away from a lot of aided statements, which will help you in writing your SQL. But I gave you the table name. Okay, what should I write here for this one, guys?
Just select ship state from orders.
Ship state from orders YS. Okay, cool. Now let's go to customers YS. View states of all customers. Okay. So we called it state versus ship state in the customers. So related information, however, it's in the field names are different. Next one is also based on orders YS table. List all state where you have shipped in the past. List each state only once. So that means if you notice your previous query result, which is line number 192, you may see that some of the states are repeating, right?
It's happening again.
Oh. I just
Oh, he died.
I'll just turn off my video. I don't know why it's becoming unstable all of a sudden. Okay, so where was I? did you guys see the comment line 199?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to list all states where you have shipped in the past, but list each state only once. So right now, if you query this one, you will see that there are some states that are repeating, like, for example, Washington or Georgia. So to do this, we will copy and paste the same query. However, before the field name, I will use the keyword distinct. Distinct will only select each value once. So you can see that these are the only states where we have shipped. And we can do this exact same thing with customers to select the customer states without repeating states. View states of all customers. However, select each state only once. So have distinct. How? Now we will learn how you can alias columns. So in order for you to alias the columns, I will use the same query from line 207. I'm going to use the word as unique state. And let's run line 207. And that's one way to do that. One way, like first approach. Second approach would be to do this and drop the word as, works the same way. This is how you can give your column headings or column alias. And this is only temporary. Third approach is valid only in one situation. If you have a single word, no spaces, then you do not need to use the double quotes. And you don't even have to use the word as. You can, but you don't have to use either of the two if it's a single word for the column alias. Okay. Then do this next query that I'm giving you, line 216. Okay, you got it, everybody? This one, first name and the last name. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to display first and last name. However, in the following manner. Last name, comma, space, first name. All values displayed in one column. Okay. In order to do this, we'll have two approaches. First approach, which is the older approach, and the second approach, which is the newer approach, because the first approach doesn't work with some special characters. In some countries, it would give you the parsing error. So this approach, in some countries, can cause parsing errors. Statements passed from one DBMS to another. And why would it do that? The problem occurs if the statement undergoes character conversion with certain combinations of source and target. So that's why the second approach was introduced, but we'll look at both approaches. First approach, select first name, two vertical bars, which is like an OR operator in Java or C#, acts as concatenation operator over here. Sorry, not first name, it should be last name, because the format I gave you guys. Last name, concatenate that with a space, a comma and a space. Concatenate that with a first name, and will alias this as full name from customers YS. And that's one approach. The second approach is, instead of using the pipes, we use the concat operator. Does exactly the same thing, but a better approach.
Let me give you the third approach as well, which is a modular approach using built-in function called concat. So what you do is you call concat, which can only take 2 parameters. So what you do is you do nested concats. So you call the concat within a concat by saying that you want the last name to be concatenated with a comma space, and the result of that to be concatenated with the first name. So it will run the innermost concat first. That will then be concatenated with the outer one. And the full name can go as alias from customers YS. Works exactly the same way. For those of you who are done looking at the output for all 3 approaches, I want you to display the output of the data in this format from the customer's YS table. So how many fields do you think we will be using in this output?
2, I think.
2 fields, right? Yeah. So give everybody a few minutes to do this and give me a green check when you're done writing the SQL for line 233. And let me say, okay. And alias, the field has customer cities.
Okay, still waiting for Cameron and Jose. Are you guys still working on it? Okay, Jose is done and Cameron is also done with this. Okay, awesome. So I will share with you my version of this, which is I selected the customer number, concatenated with this, concatenated with that, concatenated with the city, alias it as customer cities, and there we go. Okay. Let me give you your next query to work on. And that will be this comment. And let me clear the feedback. So when you're done, give me a green check. Okay, Thomas and Cameron, still working on it, or you forgot to give me the check? So we have title as title of books in double quotes as the column heading. And okay, everybody got that? Okay. Now let me give you your next task. And I'll clear your feedback. Okay, so give me a check. Anybody who's done, I think Jose and Cameron. So guys, which field did you guys pick for the selling price?
I picked retail.
Retail, very good. Yep, it is the retail field. Okay. Now, let's go back to one of the queries that we already wrote up here. Unique state one. You know, I'm copying that unique state from customers. So I will rerun it, and then I'll tell you what changes I want to make here. Okay, so here I get the list of all the states. So this is what I want to do. List all customer states without repeating and display them in alphabetical order, or I should say in ascending alphabetical order. So I'll write the order by clause, order by state. So this will now display them in the ascending order of the state names.
I have a question. This material is you kind of deviating, or is this material what you call review in the syllabus? Or
Say that again.
is this material that we are going over
Mhm.
now is what you call review in the syllabus? Or is this something, I don't see this in the first 5 chapters of the book. Are you deviating from the book?
No, 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 no. This is one of the chapters in the book. I think it is chapter number 6, where
Oh.
we are going into the select commands.
Oh, but that's in the, unless I have the wrong syllables, but it says here, let me see what.
Yeah, I'm just going a little extra.
Okay, so you're
yeah.
jumping around, so.
Right, right. Yeah, there are times, when if we have more time, I'll just go ahead.
That's fine, that's fine. Okay, thank you.
So I'm just using different examples than the one in the book. That's about it. So most of this information is in the chapter, but that's why I'll make the recording of this available so that you guys can look at this later on.
So the distinct predicate can use with any field in the table, right?
Yep, exactly. Any field that it's usually used with any field that has duplicate values, so that you can only display it once if you need to, like in this case. Okay. Similarly, let me copy this and paste this right below. And this time I'll say I want to go descending order, alphabetical order. So all I need to do is just do order by state descending, just like that. So this will display in descending order. Oh, did everybody get this? Right? Okay.
Mhm.
Now I am going to the Blackboard. And on the Blackboard, there is a review for you to work on during the week. That is review number 2. It has 11 questions, multiple choice, true, false. It's not timed. It's just, it's due by our next in-class meeting. That is on 11th. And you can work on it during the week. And I'm not giving you any new assignments. I'll work more with the select commands, and I'll give you a lot other, your next assignment will be like questions like the ones that I just gave you, maybe like 15 questions, where for each question you will write a query on this database. So this database, the one that we ran today, will be the database that we will be using for most of our homework assignments. So we will do some queries in class, and I'll give you some similar queries to do at home. So yeah, so there's no new assignment for this week, just work on the quiz. And if you still have not turned in the previous week's assignment, then that gives you some extra time to work on those assignments. Anyway, so that's all for today.